And in her capacity as the director, Cindy sat on the union negotiations team for all 3 city unions, chaired the City of Ocala's Capital Improvement Committee, Florida Government Finance Officers Association Legislative Committee, that's a mouthful, the Florida Government Finance Officers Membership Development Committee, the National League of Cities Federal Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, the Florida League of Cities Finance, Taxation and Personnel Committee, and sat on the City of Ocala's Investment Committee. She holds a master's degree in business administration and has worked in the finance sector for over 20 years. Some of Cindy's experience includes working as an investment advisor for Morgan Stanley, setting up and administering personal retirement as well as corporate pension plans, branch manager for Bank of America, dealing with a myriad of financial lending and investing products. And most recently, Cindy has founded CRK Consulting, an executive consulting firm designed to help leaders create a highly engaged workforce. Cindy understands the struggles of today's successful leader, like being pulled into so many different directions, putting your own self-care at the bottom of your priority list, and not having the support you need, and oftentimes finding yourself in a lonely place. As a chief life officer, CFO, entrepreneur, mother of 2, and two very active daughters, one of whom is an exceptional athlete and the other one is an entrepreneur. She has designed and is living her ideal life. I have to tell you, she has been through so much. She's overcome so many obstacles in her past. And when I met Cindy, she participates in 5Ks, marathons, mud runs. She's just a phenomenal woman. And when I met her, she was now kind of trying to get her own consulting business started. So I've known her in the corporate and through that transition period. And that's what I want to talk to her about, because so many of us are in or were in that transition period or are thinking of leaving corporate and starting our own business. And she is a perfect example of audacious confidence, having the courage to step out and jump into her own space. And I know it was very scary for her, but I want to invite Cindy Kelly, who is joining us from Washington, D.C. Are you there, Cindy?
I am here, Alicia. Hi.
Hey, are you on video too or only on phone?
I have the video up, but the screen just looks black, so I'm not sure
okay.
if I need to do something different there.
Okay. So I wish maybe there's a firewall or something that's hindering the connection, because if it was up, you should see me on the screen. Okay, so we'll keep checking to see if there's a firewall that's blocking you, but we'll talk to you in the meantime. And so is there anything in that introduction that I missed? Because I'm going to talk about some stuff, Cindy.
No, I think you got it all. Thank you so much. It was like a mouthful. You're right.
It is a mouthful. You are a very impressive woman. And I'm so thankful that you're my friend, that we're friends. But tell me, or tell our listeners, when did you really want to start your own business? Because you've been in corporate for 20 years, so.
Yes, I've been in corporate a long time. I think I wanted to start my own business. I started really considering it probably about 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't really act on it. I was just kind of toying with the idea. You know, what would it be like? My conservative brain was kind of like, I don't know. You have a great job. You make good money. Don't rock the boat kind of thing.
Right, because you did make good money where you were. Very stable job.
Yes, and I actually
had seniority,
what I do corporately.
And you love what you do. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't that typical entrepreneur story where, like you were hating life and you're like, oh, I got to get out of this, or screw this, my boss sucks. I had great leadership. My job was really well suited to my skill set. I had the ability to literally write my own job description. and do the things I excelled at. So it wasn't that.
Right.
What I realized was, as I spoke more and more to other businesses, to small businesses, as a government, we're always trying to help the private sector do business with us more easily.
Right.
And in my travels through speaking to chambers and local business groups and speaking at women's events, I just noticed a lot of challenges in the small business arena, and even for some corporations. And I thought, I have gained a lot of valuable insight in my years in corporate that I could lend a hand from a consulting perspective to those who are, looking to increase their leadership influence, strategic planning, just basically overall improve their operations, employee engagement. I have skills that I can lend there. And so I really started moving in that direction and took it more seriously about 3 years ago and started kind of branching out little by little, small local consulting gigs, speaking here and there. And within the last year, probably the last 6 months, really kicked it into like major overdrive.
Yeah, kicking it into gear in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here we are.
Yeah, now here we are. So you went from really, in essence, being happy in your job, but seeing an opportunity to help other businesses that were struggling, and seeing that they needed your skill set. So it wasn't a question of searching for what is my purpose or anything like that. It was just more a question of, I see a need, I want to fill that need. And so you started doing consulting on the side. Now, this, so I'm reading some of the comments. Everybody's saying hi on Facebook. Hi, Facebook, everybody on Facebook. Thank you for joining us, and Periscope and on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us as well. So I want to just ask, because since you were comfortable in your job, you were making good money and over 6 figures, how tough was it to walk away?
I think why it took me so long is because I was so comfortable and because I loved my job. So it was real easy to tell myself that, doing some consulting on the side, making an extra 5 figures a year here and there was plenty.
Right.
Great benefits package, good retirement package. I had to really kind of soul search and decide, what did I really want to do? And I wanted to have a more global impact, and I wanted to expand my reach. And I knew I couldn't do that at the city. It was more, my job is very focused. I'm in D.C. right now doing some legislative work on behalf of the city, in fact. But
let's talk about that a second, since you mentioned that. So you're in Washington, D.C. right now doing work on behalf of the city of Ocala.
Yeah.
In infrastructure.
Yeah. We're dealing with, the White House has put out an infrastructure proposal. The House and the Senate will take up their own proposals. So I'm here on behalf of the city just talking through some of the issues that they have related to, one, the opioid crisis, which is kind of sweeping our nation, infrastructure, as well as broadband. So I had a meeting today at the White House discussing those particular issues, and I've met with, some different organizations, Health and Human Services, Department of Transportation. I'll meet with multiple senators and congressmen over the course of the day, tomorrow and Wednesday. Just trying to make sure that, the city of Ocala is represented in Washington and we don't get lost in the fray.
Right. Well, it's exciting what you're doing. But then, thinking about having a more global impact, really reaching more people, that's what you desired to do. And so you took that big step, and it wasn't easy. You had a lot of work to do to get there, mindset wise. So let's talk about that.
Absolutely. Yes. A lot of work to do there mindset wise. Like I said, over the last 3 years, I've been, doing a lot of mindset training, understanding, what fears, what was holding me back, what kind of impact I really wanted to have in the world, taking the steps to have the broader influence, getting published in large publications, speaking on larger stages.
Yes, we didn't mention that. You've been published. You're a contributor, a regular contributor to the Huffington Post.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so as you start to have that more broader impact, I realized that there was kind of a whole world out there to which my skill set could lend itself. I was thinking too small, and so I decided to go a little more global with my impact. And then, life happened. As you know, 6 months ago, my world completely changed.
Yes, yes. So let's talk about that too, because 6 months ago, your husband passed away.
Yes.
Very unexpectedly.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, it hit you hard.
Yes. Very much so. It kind of was, I guess I'd say it was like a shock to the system.
Right.
And at that point, for me, it was like, okay, well, I've been wanting to do this and been wanting to do that, and and talking about doing those things. And I thought, well, wow, like this happened.
Yeah, life is now.
Life is now, and it was like, okay, his heart stopped beating and mine kept beating.
Right.
And I was like, I've really got to do something different.
Yeah,
like
you came to a point of decision.
Yes. It basically, for me, it brought my life into very sharp focus.
Very sharp focus, right.
Very sharp focus.
Because you have your two girls. Granted, they're not little, but they're still, watching what mom's doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, okay, yes, I do have these two little girls, not so little, yes, 23 and 15, almost 16.
Mm-hmm.
By no means are they little anymore, but it was like, when am I going to go forth and do the things I've been talking about doing, and with what impact am I going to do them?
Right.
Because for me, it was just like, okay, I have really got to, I don't want to say it was time to put up or shut up, but that's basically what it felt like.
Are you going to fold? Are you going to fold up your tent and just slink away, or are you really going to do what you've been saying you're going to do for the last 3 years?
Yes, and that was basically kind of where I was.
Yeah,
it was like, I'm either going to, figure this out and get it done, or I'm just going to just continue to coast and live my life and hope that I will, have the time to buy myself the freedom that I want to buy later.
Yeah.
So I decided, nope.
But
now
again,
is the time.
Right, because you don't know that you have that time, and you wanted that freedom to be able to do. And like I said in your bio, one of your daughters is very involved in athletics, and so you wanted that freedom to be able to go to her games, take her to her games, and be there for her. And you can't always do that in a job.
No, and that was the thing. As much as I love my job and what I do, the one thing I'd say I would lack was time freedom.
Time freedom. You wanted to buy back your time.
Yes, and I wanted to buy back my time. And the way in which I've structured, consulting and my business was, I was able to buy back my time.
Right.
And so going forward, I will get to travel the world with my business partner, doing consulting and having an impact globally the way that I want to.
The way that you envisioned for yourself. And so,
yeah.
And also being able to impact them, your two girls, because,
Yes.
Now they don't have their father, so you're their example of how to be strong and keep moving.
Yeah.
And how
was
to follow
important
your
to me.
dreams and go after them.
Yeah, I mean, because grief is a natural response to the loss of a relationship.
Yes.
Especially someone that held a unique place in your heart, and and initially how you process that, and being strong and just processing all of those feelings. Just for me, it was like, okay, I can, like you said, either pack up my toys and go home,
Yep.
or I can channel this energy and take this experience and say, okay, I can focus on what it is I want to do, and I can take this experience of losing my husband at 42 and
Very
do
young.
all the things I wanted to do, because it was very clear I'm no longer promised tomorrow.
Right.
And to show my kids that, don't wait. Just
Do it now.
do it now.
And so
Because that's all we have is today.
all we have is today. And so you have gone full time into your consulting now.
Yeah.
You've left. When was your last day, or when is your last day, I should say?
Yes, because I'm still doing some work for them. So my last day is actually March 23rd.
March 23rd is your freedom ticket. You're no longer
Yes.
a corporate job, and you're going full-time consulting. And
Yes.
it's been a long process for you to get to that decision, but well worth it.
Absolutely. Well worth it. As you've been there with me, you understand there was, lots of bumps along the way.
Lots of bumps, lots of doubts.
Yep. But it just has been like, okay, now is the time, because I just am not guaranteed. And it just, the whole thing just brought my life into very sharp focus.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I can sit here and I can, feel the fear and do it anyway. I mean, Kevin and I, our marriage didn't work out, yes, but we were still best friends.
Yeah.
And so having that happen, I thought, when I reflected, I thought, I am not living the life that I dreamed of.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be one of those people on my deathbed with all those regrets.
All the regrets, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Right, to live a life true to myself and not the life that was expected of me. And I thought, okay, when I'm on my deathbed, my goal is to tell tales of how I lived the life of my dreams, how I honored the death of my husband, best friend, by going on to live the life of my dreams. So that when we meet again and I see that big goofy smile of his, and I want to hear him say, I always needed to do it.
Right. Now you're living it.
Yes, you lived it.
As a legacy to him too.
Yeah, I want to leave a legacy and to show my kids at the same time that, no matter what life throws at you, you can pick up those pieces and you can just keep on going. And so I thought, I'm going to live a life by design. I'm going to design my own trajectory. Times are changing, and I'm ready to do it. So I examined my life and said, okay, you're almost 46. When are you going to do it?
When? Yep. When are you going to do it? So listen.
We're ripping off the Band-Aid and we're doing it now.
We're ripping off the Band-Aid. So tell me what you have coming up, where you're going, what you're doing. Just roadmap a couple things for us moving forward. So you're leaving the city of Ocala here in Florida, and what's next?
I am leaving the city of Ocala. I will still do some consulting work for the city, so I will be on retainer as a consultant.
Which is great.
Which is great.
Yes.
So I still get to use my skill set to help them as it relates to those legislative type issues. Mm-hmm. Going forward, working with my personal consulting firm, I will help companies with their operations, and as that relates basically to strategic planning, employee engagement, the communications, the leadership, just putting those soft skills in place so that everyone in your organization is rowing in the same direction. Moving those companies basically from their comfort zone into their strength zone.
Excellent. And where are you going to be doing that, Miss Cindy?
Well, I am also, working with my partner, Couri, in a new corporation that was formed together, Results Impact Global Consulting Agency, and we will be doing that all over the world. He will be doing consulting on digital marketing and the entrepreneurial mindset, and I will be consulting on strategic planning and other operations type issues and solutions, and we will be doing that all over the world. So far this year, we'll be in about 24 countries. 24
countries this year alone?
This year alone.
That you'll be consulting. So you're going from City of Ocala to consulting 24 countries worldwide in the next 7 months.
Yes, ma'am.
And give me an idea of some of those countries.
Well, in April, we're going to do the Norwegian tour. So we will be headed to Denmark, Norway, Finland, and Sweden. That will be our first tour. Some of the other countries we'll go to, we will head to Africa, South Africa, Kenya, Madagascar, Australia, Greece, let's see, London, Paris.
London,
Iceland.
Paris, Greece, Australia, Madagascar, South Africa, Kenya,
India,
Finland,
Tokyo,
Norway, other places in
Tokyo,
Europe,
Vietnam, Taiwan, Sydney,
Taiwan. Wow! So you're just now going to be global.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the idea.
And are you excited?
I am beyond excited. I'm vibrating with nothing but excitement.
You're vibrating with nothing but excitement. And I'm so excited for you because I know that has been your dream. That has been your vision for your business and for your life, to be able to have the opportunity to do that. And I am so excited to have been on the sidelines watching you grow and develop. And even before Kevin's death, you were getting there. You were, plodding along, but then in the last 6 months, in the last 3 months, you have just skyrocketed. So that has, like you said, his death brought you into sharp focus, and you have just, taken off like a rocket. And I am so excited for you, Cindy. And I hope that our listeners can appreciate that it's a process, right?
Absolutely, yes.
It's a process. You have to get your mind right. You have to get your vision in focus. But also you have to keep following your dream. You have to keep following your dreams, because things are going to happen in our lives that can derail us. And it's up to us to decide whether we're going to let those things make us pack up and leave, or we're going to forge ahead and, with audacious confidence, gird up our loins and go. So, okay, so I have to wrap it up. Cindy, I'm so thankful for you coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Sorry we couldn't get the video going, but I appreciate you so much. Have a safe trip there in D.C. And thank you all for watching on Facebook and YouTube and Periscope. I appreciate you. And I will be back next week with another live show. So till then, I'll see you later. Stay safe. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you.
Love you. Love you. Bye.
Bye. A wise friend always says to me, we have a finite number of minutes to spend. And just like you can only spend $1 once, you can only spend 1 minute once. It's your choice. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing to spend some of your minutes with me on my show. I wish you love, health, and happiness to live your life with audacious confidence. I love you, and we'll see you next time.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those